This is the Super Dave Special Review.
Super Dave here with episode 39 and a Super Dave review, special review of an awesome action figure that I believe goes well with MOTU Classics. This is an action figure. We do this series of figures, play sets, and accessories that work well with either MOTU Classics or Masterverse figures, because that's what I collect, and I think this guy goes perfect. But I saw on Instagram a custom paint job on this guy, and I had to try it. So I've already done it, but I'm going to show you. Here's the look of Skaar, son of Hulk. There he is in the package. That's what he looks like. Check out his color, really good. And here is also a picture of the back of the box. You can see how awesome that looks. Just take a look at that. That is awesome looking. He is just so neat. This almost looks like that he has regular flesh tones with some color and some reds and, you know, just that dark environment that give him that color of skin. Nothing like what we got in any of these pictures. And so I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. There's the top of the box if you'd like to take a look at that. There's the barcode if you'd like that. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at him over here in Eternia, where I have him with my Masterverse allies. And here we are deep inside of Eternia, where many of Eternia's allies reside and gather to take a look and meet one of our coolest allies to date. It is a Marvel Legends. It is a huge fella. It is supposed to be the Incredible Hulk's son. His name is Skaar. And as we said earlier, you saw him in the box. I've colored him a custom paint job with a wash to give him a different look, but I think it's awesome. Now, I did spray it with a sealant that's supposed to be a matte, but it did give it a little bit of a shine. So I don't know. I have to see what I can do about that, see if I can find a better sealant that doesn't create a shine to the acrylic paint that I used. But there is Skaar. So let's first take a look at his accessories. Let's first take a look at his hands. He comes with two sets of hands. First of all, he comes with a set of weapon holding hands. As you can see here is one of those. One is equipped, and I have painted this also to match the one that is equipped. I did put a little bit of scarring and silver paint. It was just a flat gray on there. And then you can see he comes with sets of balled up fisted hands. I have painted this one as well and put some scarring on the back of that plate. That was just a flat mat there. And then I have two sets equipped, or a set equipped. The weapon holding hand holding that cool looking sword. And that blade was just a flat gray, so I just put like a little bit of a black wash and some of the silver highlights around it, around the scarring and around the blade itself. And I did a little bit of a wash on the handle. You can see the wash on his hand here, and then his other hand is a fist, balled up fist. Painted the veins in his bicep, kind of a dark green into his shoulders. Just gave it more of a darker green, and it's kind of a mix. Some highlights in yellow to make it look like where the skin is stretched tight over the muscles, like in his shoulders and abs there. Just a little bit of a yellowish color. I did put a wash on the loincloth, as well as a little bit of a silver silver trim again on the buckle there, even on the side and the shins here. It's a little bit, and I did a little bit of a black wash on the boots just to make everything pop a little bit. Of course, a black wash on the hair a little bit, as well as the same paint that I did on the chest and arms on his face. So, and then I sprayed the sealant. Everything looked very matte, non-glossy, but then I sprayed a matte finish, a matte seal on it, and it gave it a little bit of a, just a little bit of a shine. So, a little disappointed in that, but other than that, I really like the way he came out. Put a little bit of black wash as well on that strap around his chest, which is removable. Let me go ahead and flip him around here so you can see. And there is his sheath, and that's where I want to go to next. Put a little bit of a wash on that, as well as a little bit of a different brown, kind of a goldish brown around the furry top part. And then you can see his knife that will go in that sheath. I have not done anything to it. That's pretty much what we saw throughout this figure. Just a very matte, flat gray, flat brown. That gives you an idea. And then here is what the color he was out of the box. I have not done anything to this head, but take a look at those teeth and those eyes. Boy, this one really pops. I have to spend a little bit more time painting this one and be more careful. But you can see, here's a comparison. I'll turn him back around here just very quickly. You can see the difference between the color that I did and the color he came out of the box. I like, you know, this darker green color personally. A little bit of a, you know, almost a dirty green. But anyway, that's the way I did him, and I think he's cool, and I'm gonna make him a good guy. He's gonna work well with He-Man and Men-at-Arms, the Axe Battler, and some of the Exodus Ray studio figures. Of course, Lion-O and Hebrew, and there's Atlas back there of Mythic Legions, and there's our Casus, our bull action figure, and there's Femere. Femere is what I call her, and the saber-toothed lion. Just a whole bunch of figures here to go along with this awesome, there's Sunman back there, and Cyclone with this awesome Skaar figure. But I'm going to keep his name. I just like that name, Skaar. I painted, it was kind of a dark green. Those tattoos that are on him, maybe they are scars. And I painted them kind of a dark green, a darker green mixed with a little bit of black. You can see that. Did put some shading, his musculature and his thighs and his abs, his chest, but he's looking awesome. I like him. All right, now let's take a look at our Skaar's Articulation. All right, bringing our Skaar in a little closer to take a closer look and to carefully look at his articulation. Just take a look at this monster, and I do think that the custom paint job gives him a better look, but that's just me personally. I love the way this looks, and you can see here I put his knife, his dagger type blade right there in the back there, which I love the way that fits and tucks right on him there, looking cool, looking great. All right, his head is only going to be able to look up about that much, because it's this hair is hitting back here, as you can see, and then you're going to be able to look down pretty much all the way there, looking awesome. Looks menacing. You're only going to get just a really small amount of pivoting, but it is present there. You can see a little bit of it, which, you know, I'll take that. That's better than nothing. And of course, he'll be able to look side to side pretty much as far as you need to. You know, he's not going to be doing a 360 with his head. This is not The Exorcist, but just look at how broad and big he looks. Just love the muscularity, the thickness of the triceps, the veins in his bicep, just the overall thickness of this guy. The size of his chest looks really good. I painted in the nipples there to make them stand out a little bit better. with this custom paint job, but just looking cool. And then he's going to have, of course, 360 with those arms. He's going to be able to get right there at a T pose, as you can see. He also has bicep swivel. Let's see if I can do that without getting that in the way. He has bicep swivel, which the shoulder is wanting to rotate, but you can see the bicep is swiveling there. And then he has only single jointed elbows, but it really is enough. He gets about 90 degrees. Just look at the veins up in there. And then also he has a swivel at that elbow as well. So it swivels there, swivels at the bicep, and then take a look at that butterfly joint. You can see it better in the back here. Let's move some of that out of the way. There's that butterfly joint, and it definitely gets some pretty decent articulation there. I like it. Now, he's going to be able, and his head popped off, but he's going to be able to crunch forward a really good amount. Just look at that. That looks really good. You see I painted all the way up in there. There's no gappage, so they did a really good job with that. He's going to be able to bend back a pretty decent amount as well, and those abs go all the way up in there too. So that looks good. He's going to also swivel at the waist. Even though this loincloth does get in the way with some things, it still works out pretty decently. He's going to be able to kick up about that much without like really pushing that up into his abdomen area, but that's a decent amount for a big fella. He's going to be able to get back that much, and you can see up in there where I didn't get the paint, because when I pushed his leg out like that, it did bring that loincloth up. But you can readjust that there. I'm going to have to do a little bit of painting up in there. But if you bring it down, it covers up everything pretty decently. He does have his thigh rotation there, and you can see where I shaded in that. He has double jointed knees. Just take a look at that, looking good there, and you can see that color difference there. It's not too bad. You know, might have to paint in that and spray it, but that's all right. He also has boot cut right there. He has a boot cut. He's going to be able to get all the way tiptoes. He's going to be able to go up a decent amount, and has excellent rockers with a peg hole in the bottom, which is really cool. And so gets a really good amount of overall articulation, and you know, just looking cool. And of course he also has swivel and vertical hinge wrist for that sword, so that is nice. And then with the fist, he has swivel and horizontal hinge, and those bracers do not come off. They're glued on pretty tight. I haven't been able to get them off there, so you might, you know, I don't think they're customizable there as far as removing them. I do not believe, but he is just looking really cool. We'll go ahead and pop on the other head just so you can get an idea of what that looks like, even though I've not painted it, so it's going to look a little silly maybe. Pop that on. Now he can rear back, be like, kind of like in his picture. He doesn't get the axe though, like is pictured, which is kind of odd. But he's going to be able to look back, or I'm sorry, look up quite a bit more than the other, because that hair is not back here. The wind's blowing it forward, so he's going to be able to look up a really good amount. He's going to be able to look down a really good amount. He's going to get pretty much no swivel there, but he will look side to side a little easier. But you can see that wind-blown look, and those eyes. Take a look at those eyes. They're just all green and cool looking. Those teeth look good too. So I have to, if I paint this head, I'm going to have to be real careful, but you can definitely see a difference there between the two. Just go ahead and let you see these eyes too while we're at it. Trying to move this hair out of the way so you can see. Looks really cool. Looks good there. All right, so let's go ahead and pop back on this head here. And now we're going to look at some comparisons. Alright, starting out with some obvious ones here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our SH Figure Arts Hulk. I do not have a Marvel Legends Hulk. I do apologize. I'm just not a huge Hulk fan, but I did love this guy. Got him on sale at one point, the SH Figure Arts Hulk. And I forget which movie this one is from, but I really liked him and the shading and his color. And there he is next to his son, Skaar. And in this particular case, Skaar is a little bit shorter than this SH Figure Arts Hulk. And then there is our Marvel Legends She-Hulk. And this is a custom painted one, and I added some bicep to her arms. But I like that shade, love the way this one turned out. And then here is the comic She-Hulk. Just recently got that one not too long ago, where she's got the big goofy smile and it's got the real bright colors. Almost breaks the camera, as bright as that green is. But you can see how cool this is. And as you see, with those butterfly joints, he can easily strike a two-handed sword pose where he's holding that sword just right so that he's able to hold the handles with both hands. Got to equip both weapon holding hands there, and that's looking really, really cool. Looking really cool there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it. And here is Skaar premiering with his friend He-Man. And you can see there is the Revolution He-Man with a Hordak MX head sculpt. Looking awesome there. I love the way this guy looks. And I do have the metal San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack He-Man and Skeletor weapons equipped on this Revolution. So he's got the metal sword and the metal shield, which I love as well. And then also premiering here is my custom painted Lion-O. That is Mirror Lion-O that I have painted in the blue colors and made him pinless, basically, by painting my red and orange Mirror Lion-O, the blue colors, as you can see there. No pins in the elbows or in the legs. Everything's looking pretty good. It was hard to match the color of the blue from the Super 7, but I think I was able to get it, you know, close enough that it looks all right. I like it. The boots and the chest and everything looks pretty good. And now I've got, you know, a yelling head for this one as well. So I custom painted this one myself, so I was very proud of doing that, because it was not easy, just to say the least. But Skaar is looking really good beside Lion-O and He-Man. And here's a matchup that I absolutely love, and here is He-Bro. And you need to go check out Todd's He-Bro YouTube channel. That's HE-BRO. You can also go to HE-BRO.com and check out the full story of this character that he pretty much created in the MOTU universe. Love it. Thank you, Todd. And then here with our Skaar is Casus, the Combatant, by X's Ray Toys, and he is looking awesome beside Skaar. He's definitely taller than Skaar. Masterverse He-Bro, Skaar, son of Hulk, and then Casus, the Combatant, also an ally of He-Man. So these guys are looking awesome together, but I'm pretending that Skaar is just a giant beast, or giant humanoid rather, in Eternia that will ally with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So these are awesome looking allies, and I love it. And here is Goro next to Skaar, and you can see just how much bigger Goro is by Storm Collectibles. He's a bad guy who is a bouncer, this giant that Skeletor can call on when he needs him in my Masterverse. But there also is our Skaar next to a Classics, MOTU Classics Ram Man. And you can see, even though the Classics style Ram Man is pretty tall, he still is short next to Skaar here. And here is Skaar with another He-Man and Lion-O ally, Snowman. And you can see by Super 7, Snowman is about the same height as our Skaar figure. And then here is a Marvel Legends Juggernaut. And he is looking cool. This is the one that came with Colossus a while back. And he's definitely taller than Skaar and bigger than Skaar. But both of these behemoths are really neat looking. Very cool. And here is Skaar next to it. X's Ray Studios Fight for Glory combatant figure who's looking awesome next to him, quite a bit shorter. And then here is a Storm Collectibles The Axe Battler from the Golden Axe series video game. Storm Collectibles figure looks a little bit shorter, but it stands up right there with Skaar, so looks really good here. Looks awesome. He's just looking excellent with quite a few figures and lines, I think. So tell me what you think about the paint. Tell me what you think about the color. Tell me what you think about this figure in general and how he measures up, and who will you put him with? Will you just put him with beside your Hulk on your shelf, or are you going to mix and match? Love to hear from you. And thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review, as we have been taking a look at this Skaar figure along with all these other allies in the Masters of the Universe. And Skaar is just fitting right in, I think, in this theme. And I hope you will join us again. So let's go ahead and see some photos in the photo gallery. Be blessed.